Hello and welcome to HITC Sport. Right, today we're talking about the Euros. Over a year ago I made a video entitled Predicting England's Euro 2020 squad, but I was wildly off the mark as I didn't predict the global pandemic that would put life on hold and delay the tournament for a year, whilst also leaving a chance that it might not happen in 2021. A lot has changed since I made that video on November 16th, 2019, so I'm going to have another go and once again try and predict England's Euro 2020 squad, or Euro 2021 to give it the name it should really have. Providing there's no zombie apocalypse or a Planet of the Apes kind of situation, this is who I think Gareth Southgate will pick for his 23-man England squad. Remember that, it's who I think he'll pick, not who I want to pick. Number 1, Jordan Pickford. Right, we're starting off with the three goalkeepers, and I can't see any situation where Jordan Pickford isn't going to be on the plane wherever it is we're actually playing. It's just Wembley actually, isn't it? It's mad that despite everything going on, UEFA still think having a tournament all over Europe's a good idea. Players will be travelling so much they'll think they're ex-Love Island contestants promoting cheap tat on Instagram. But speaking of tat, it's been a rough season for Pickford. There was a period over Christmas where the mistakes dried up, but they reared their ugly head yet again as he handed Leicester an equaliser the other week. It's been a rotten season for Pickford, but he's been lucky that no one's put any real pressure on for the England number 1 spot. Sure, he might have little arms that can barely touch the crossbar, but he can pass the ball out from the back, which is exactly what Gareth Southgate wants. It's just a shame that most times he's passing it to the walking fridge, Harry Maguire. Number 2, Nick Pope. Pickford's biggest rival is probably Nick Pope, the gaudy Burnley bloke who snuck onto the plane for the 2018 World Cup without no one noticing. Oh wait, no, that was Jason Bent. Anyway, a lot of people believe Pope should be the number 1 stopper as he's much more reliable and big enough to ride all the roller coasters at Disney. But it's the playing it out from the back that's a bit of an issue, as it's something Pope never really has to do. All he has to do is just lump it up to Barnes or Wood, whilst his manager Sean Dyche is shouting on the touchline that the ball boy looks like Keith Lemon. Dean Henderson. Last time I did this video it was Tom Heaton who I tipped to be 3rd choice at the Euros. Now there's more chance of Heaton digging out a long lost uncle and defecting to Scotland. There's a few goalkeepers pushing for the 3rd slot in Southgate's squad. Sam Johnson's been impressive in a woeful West Brom side, while Carl Darlow's been excellent too, prompting some Toon fans to say he should be the first choice over Pickford. Although to be honest I reckon I'd look good in goal for Newcastle, they face so many shots I'm bound to save a few. But despite spending the whole season on the bench and possibly forgetting how to actually be a goalie, I think Dean Henderson will get the call. Trent Alexander-Arnold. No matter what Liverpool do this season, Trent Alexander-Arnold's going to be in the squad. But then again, he's actually got a lot of competition, so could do with raising his game between now and the end of the season to ensure he's in the starting 11. We never saw much of Trent at the World Cup, and since then he's gone on to be one of the best right backs on the planet. Except for this season. This season he's been pretty poor. Reece James. Right, initially I had Kieran Trippier here, but the more I think about it, the more I think this FIFA ban will cost him a place at the tournament. Therefore I'll go with Reece James, who some will argue should actually start on the right of defence over Trent Alexander-Arnold. England have got some great options at fullback, which kind of explains why Southgate starts about 7 every time England play. Kyle Walker. Right, he's a player who I don't think should be in the squad, but I can't say him not being on the plane. He's experienced and Southgate will probably have him as a backup centre-back too if he decides to inexplicably play 3 at the back. Christ, we've got no chance of playing 3 centre-backs, let alone if one of them is Kyle Walker. He's got all the defensive awareness of a suicidal badger crossing a country road. Harry Maguire. I can't actually remember a time when Harry Maguire wasn't in the England squad. I'd have to rewatch the footage just to check he wasn't there in '66 on his inflatable unicorn. But he'll definitely be in the England squad no matter what he does between now and the end of the season. I mean, if the Greek cops can't stop him, there's no way Southgate can. John Stones. Out of nowhere, it looks as though John Stones is England's best centre-back. The bloke couldn't get in the City team at all, and when he did he was a walking disaster, handing out goals as if they were cheap cheese samples in a supermarket. But now he's a proud Stilton, sniffing out danger and dealing with it every time. Right, I'm ending this cheese metaphor. Anyway, Stones is playing really well at Man City, and he's handy with his feet, which is a bonus for Southgate. Or actually more important than the job he's actually in the team to do. Tyrone Mings. Right, I've chopped and changed here, as Southgate's picked a fair few centre-backs over the past couple of years as he struggles to find the perfect combo. But I think because he's left-footed, Tyrone Mings will get the nod as he's perfectly suited if Southgate goes for 3 or 5 at the back. To be fair though, this could be a little bit of a lottery, as the centre-backs who miss out my little squad here include Conor Cody, Eric Dyer, Michael Keane, the injured Joe Gomez and Ryan Shawcross. Luke Shaw. In 2019 I tipped Luke Shaw for a late push to make it to the Euros, and the delayed tournament has certainly helped his cause. Shaw has been one of the best left backs in the Premier League this season and should arguably be England's first choice. The renaissance of Luke Shaw has been a sight to behold, coming a long way since that broken leg and having Mourinho call him Tubby. To be fair, I don't feel too vindicated by my Luke Shaw prediction in 2019, as I said it was between him and Danny Rose of all people. Ben Chilwell. Despite losing his place in the Chelsea team, I still think Ben Chilwell should go to the Euros. Chilwell's relegation to the bench in favour of Marcos Alonso shouldn't impact his Euro hopes too much, as I can't see Southgate calling up anyone else, unless Ashley Cole wants to dust off the old boots for one last ride. Declan Rice. We move into midfield, but with a sneaky eye on the defence too. I've got this real worry that Gareth Southgate is definitely going to play 5 at the back with 3 centre-backs, so he's going to need a lot of cover there. Fortunately, we've got some players who can play in a couple of positions, which is why I think Declan Rice will definitely get the nod, much to the anger of the Irish, who wish Declan Rice was sat at home with the rest of the Ireland squad just twiddling their thumbs, counting down the days until the next international humiliation. Just wait until you see who else is in the squad, lads. Calvin Phillips. Again, Calvin Phillips is another player who can play in defence and midfield, which I think should give him an edge in the battle to make it to the Euros. Phillips is excellent at protecting the back four and progressing the ball up the pitch with speed, which is exactly why he's found himself in the England fold this season. If he has a strong end to the campaign, I reckon he'll be at the Euros. Jordan Henderson. It's easy to forget, but Jordan Henderson is actually a centre midfielder and someone who's definitely going to the Euros. He's the vice captain and the voice on the pitch and someone who will 100% be in the squad and most likely start every game. Mason Mount. Mason Mount's another player who will definitely be in the squad. I know there's loads of banter about him being a teacher's pet because Frank Lampard and Gareth Southgate always pick him, but there's a reason for that. It's because he's really good at football, not because he licks the teacher's backside. The only thing holding Mount back is international experience, but there's only one way he's going to get that. We don't know what system Southgate's going to play, but he'll probably find a way of getting Mount in the starting 11. Jack Grealish. Ever since Jack Grealish turned his back on the Irish and said he wanted to play for England, he's been fighting to get into the Three Lions squad, and right now there's no way you can't pick him. This season he's been incredible, arguably even better than he was last year, and when playing for England he's proven he's got the temperament for international football. While you just want to kick him for wearing a stupid shin pad so low, you can't help but admire the rise of Jack Grealish, who has gone from England squad contender to a man who should probably be in the starting 11. Phil Foden. Speaking of men who should be in the starting 11, Phil Foden's so good we should probably build the whole team around him. Whilst he's been truly brilliant since football went behind closed doors, the 4-1 hammering of Liverpool seemed to be like a real coming out party for Phil Foden. This was the game where he truly arrived as an elite footballer, capable of making the difference in key games. While he's had criticism, Guardiola stuck to his guns and nurtured Foden brilliantly, and now he's at a point where you'd be mad not to play Phil Foden. Speed, vision, touch, awareness, Phil Foden's got it all, which makes it all the more baffling that he's actually English. The sad thing is, with the way Phil Foden and Jack Grealish are playing, it seems like there's no way that James Maddison's going to get in the squad, and he's playing brilliantly too. Christ, we've got so many attacking options, it's scary. JADON Sancho. In an alternative universe, Man City have got the 2 top young English talents, but instead they've only got Foden, while JADON Sancho is having a grand old time at Dortmund with Erling Haaland and all the boys. But it won't stop Sancho going to the Euros, with the winger set to get his first chance at a major tournament. The bigger question is, will he start for Gareth Southgate? As I've already said, England have got so many options in attack. I mean, the players that are going to be left home are ridiculous. No matter who Southgate picks, Barry from Colchester is going to say he's got it wrong. Raheem Sterling. He's guaranteed to be in the squad, let's be honest. The only way he won't be is if he gets struck down by injury, and even still, I reckon Southgate would go for Sterling on crutches over Andros Townsend or Jacob Murphy. Marcus Rashford. Another guarantee. I mean, after the year he's had, there's no way Southgate can't pick Marcus Rashford. If he doesn't, he's basically saying that kids deserve to go hungry. Is that what you think, Gareth? You think kids should go hungry? Aye, I thought not. Now get yourself on the plane, Marcus. Harry Kane. I mean, he's the captain. Of course Harry Kane's going to be in the squad. This isn't some sort of profound prediction that I plucked out of nowhere. Predicting that he might lift the European Championship, however, there's more chance of him becoming royalty and being named King Kane by the end of the summer. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. When it comes to backup strikers, I think Calvert-Lewin's nailed on. He's the top English scorer at the time of recording, and his breakout year in the Premier League should be rewarded with a place in the England squad at the end of the season. He can be a presence up top just like Kane, and I'll be shocked if he doesn't make the cut. Patrick Bamford. Right, the final space in the squad, I'm going out on a limb and saying it'll go to Patrick Bamford. If you told me I'd say that at the start of the season, I'd tell you there's more chance of HITC becoming the new sideman and one of us getting a record deal. My money's on Alfie. But with how he's playing, how can you ignore Patrick Bamford? Sure, Ollie Watkins and Callum Wilson are playing well, but Bamford seems on another level, a level I don't think anyone knew he had. When it comes to Harry Kane replacements, Bamford is the closest. He scores goals and he can create too, which is why I think Gareth Southgate will take him to Euro 2020. In 2021, Christ, the world's gone to shit, hasn't it? So there we have it, that's who I think Gareth Southgate will pick in his 23-man England squad for the Euros this summer. We'll see how right I am in a few months' time. Thank you for watching, let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to HITC Sport. And until next time, we will see you around.